It is actually snowing out. I'm not sure. I think you can tell it like this way a little bit better. But it is snowing out. It's not a heavy snow. We've actually had, I don't want to jinx ourselves, but we've had a light winter so far. But you know what? It always comes back, bites you in the end. Like, oh, this is a really mild winter. And then it'll be like that at the beginning of March, and then suddenly it'll be like a blizzard, and like it'll be like, oh, it's 0 degrees out. So I would love if it like stayed this mild, but who knows? We'll see. Anyway, I actually have, it's like a brand Baggu, and that's what I have, and they have wine bottle bags. Anyway, yeah, so I went to Trader Joe's specifically for wine because they have like really good prices and it's really good. Okay, so you're gonna take, what is this? Half a cup of butter. And I like to brown my butter. So I'll show you what that should look like. It's like the finished product. Also, we're making chocolate chips. I did not mention that, but we're making chocolate chips. So I think it gives it some extra, you know, je ne sais quoi, you brown your butter. So that's what we're gonna do. And then while your butter is browning, you can go ahead and get like your mise en place, which I think is like French for like everything in its place, basically. Like get everything ready, because I think that's the fastest way to do it. So and you know what's really helpful, guys, is like if you keep the empty butter wrapper, you can set your spatula. Ooh, what did I get on my shirt? What is this? I think it's water. You can like set your spatula so you don't get your counter dirty and anything else, and then you can just throw it out. So I hold on to that. I'm a big believer in sifting things, so we're gonna go ahead and sift everything too. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a 1/4 measuring cup because we need half a cup of regular sugar. This is like what the butter looks like when it's first melted. You can see it's like pretty clear. Look, just get a feel for the butter. Okay, first I'm gonna do the sugar, the regular white sugar. And so the best way to measure, like to properly measure into cups, is like don't just scoop it out. You need to like take something else and like, so I'm taking a measuring cup we normally have and putting it into this. You can use like a spoon or whatever, just because otherwise I guess like you tend to get it packed in there more when you're scooping it in. If you're gonna take like a knife to level it off, don't push it in, just scrape the extra. Be careful, because these are not exact as like measuring on a scale. That was half a cup of regular sugar. It's not like macaroons where it has to be super fine. If things get a little harsh in there, that's okay. But I just think it's nice because sometimes moisture gets in there and they just get packed together, and it's like a nice way, so you're not like trying to like get it unpacked with like your spoon or your spatula when you're actually doing it. But so with brown sugar, how you measure it is brown sugar is something like you have to pack in, for those of you who are not expert bakers like moi. Just kidding. I'm much more of like a cooking person. I don't know. I like to cook more. It's a lot less. You can be like, oh, put this in. You know what? If I put too much baking soda in this, it's gonna taste horrible. But like with cooking, it's like, oh wow. It's a little spicy. Didn't ruin anything. So we're like, pack it down. And we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And then I'm gonna put the salt in, I think. So this is kind of like the color you want. Do you see how it's got that nice, like kind of golden? So that's been browned. And so I'm gonna let it cool down for a minute or two. And then I'm gonna put it in here when it's... Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the salt into this. And so I need a teaspoon. Where's a teaspoon? Where's a tablespoon? I'm gonna take a teaspoon of salt. So let's go for that. Salt is also something that I think you should put through this thing. Also, guys, this is not mise en place. This is just, I was lazy and I skipped it because I didn't want to wash all the extra bowls. But mise en place, getting everything in this place, it is like really helpful, especially if you're making like stuff where it's like really fast and you need to have like this in and this in. Like, let's say you're making macaroons, like very like time sensitive, things like that. That needs to be ready now. And so you're gonna have everything in this like little bowl already measured out. This, I just have the ingredients, so I'm not going through the cabinets looking for them. But it'd be a lot faster if I was like, had the salt poured in, had the sugar poured, you know, if I had already measured it. But I don't feel like washing extra dishes. So, the whisk, and I'm just gonna, that's not working. I should just really wait. Okay, guys. So this is what it looks like after it's kind of like cooled down a little. But I will tell you, if you've had toffee, it really has like a toffee smell to it once it's been browned. And it really gives it like a good brown flavor. I don't know how to explain it, but you can try it. Okay, I got it ready this time. Your egg. Guys, when you crack an egg, don't try to be fancy with it, because I promise you, you're going to get eggshell in it. So just like crack it with 2 hands, and always crack it in another bowl, and crack each egg one after another. Don't put them in the same bowl together, because then you're going to have to dive through it, especially if you're like doing like egg yolks for like macaroons or something like that, or like separating your whites and your yolks, because like if one breaks, the whole thing's ruined. Like now your egg whites are all of them, like you could have done 5 eggs already and they came out well, and your 6 you broke it, but now all 5 of those egg whites have yolk in them and you're just like done. It's not going well for you, and now you need to redo all those 5 eggs. So I'm gonna put that in. And then so I put 1 egg in here, and I'm doing like, I don't think you can ever have too much vanilla, but my wallet says I can have too much vanilla. So I'm putting like 1.5 teaspoons in here. So, because that's what my wallet says is okay. And then just mix it up. Mix it. And you kind of want it there, like where you can still see it for a second before it falls back in. Okay, so this is, yeah, that's good. So I'm gonna put in the rest of our dry ingredient. Okay, guys, so grab your handy dandy sifter, and you're gonna put in 1 1/4 cup flour, and do the same thing that I said with the sugar. Is like you should kind of take a spoon or something else and like drop it into this. Otherwise it ends up too packed and you're gonna end up with too much flour. I've been learning about that recently. Like I said, I'm much more of like a cooking kind of person. I get like so stressed baking. I'm not a perfectionist well, I am. That's why I don't do a lot of stuff, and I'm stubborn about doing things because like it has to be perfect. So half the time I'm like, I'd rather not do it because I'm just like gonna get so angry if it doesn't turn out right. You know what I mean? Like I'm not lazy, I'm just like scared of like it not going right and like having a breakdown basically. Yeah, anyway, back to that. Yeah, I don't cry a lot, but I've definitely cried in the kitchen. If you want to find me crying, ask me to bake you something that's not. Ask me to bake you macaroons when it's humid out. Then you'll see me cry. That'll be a nice time for all of us, I think. And this is just all-purpose flour, which I think is like the best for cookies personally. Okay, and then we are going to take half a teaspoon of baking soda, some good Arm & Hammer. Now this brand is Arm & Hammer. It's the only brand besides like those store brands that I know of. And so baking flour is like the rising agent, well, no, this isn't baking flour. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm tired, as you can see. Baking soda is a rising agent, and so it's very important that you get the correct amount. And I don't know if I put up my cooking video yet by the time this comes out. But if I haven't, I'm gonna tell you, baking soda and baking powder are fully interchangeable, but don't put the same amount. Like, oh, I don't have baking powder or this is baking soda. I don't have baking soda, and I'm supposed to have a teaspoon. Let me put in half a teaspoon of baking powder. Don't do that. Look up the conversion rate. Your food will taste horrible, or else it won't rise. Okay, so we're gonna sift these now that I've given you my opinion on that. And like you should always like sift your dry ingredients into like another bowl. And I think it's nice to put the flour and the baking soda together in there because like they get mixed together, and so it's not like, oh, that had a clump of baking soda. And of course you're gonna mix it up in another bowl, but like with the wet ingredients, things just don't always disperse that well. So you should like mix it up beforehand. And like I said, like you don't have to, like this is not a recipe where it's like you have to sift your stuff. I just think it's a good idea because like things get humid, things get stuck together, and like it's a good idea just to like sift it so it breaks up the clumps, things like that. Don't mix it too much. You just want to get it in. It's like when you're getting like the flour and stuff in, you can always over mix things. Okay, so I'm not great, but so basically what I know the general fold-in motion is like that. You go down the middle, you go like this. Okay, we mixed it, yay! Okay, and make sure I try to get the stuff on the side. I should probably like make sure I got everything because there is a little left. But so now we're gonna put in like chocolate chips and chocolate chunks. So let's do that. Okay, so I am using this. I just measure it like in ounces. So I'm gonna come to 0 first, sorry. Put your bowl on, 0 it out. And then these are semi-sweet chocolate chips. So like I said, 4 ounces. Now I'm gonna toss these in. Okay, so then those are semi-sweet chocolate chips, and these are like dark chocolate. And trust me, I hate dark chocolate. It's not too dark, just do it. It gives that extra, there's enough sugar in it, it's not gonna bother you. Okay, it's actually best, I think, if you do it in the paper. And I'm taking this, and don't do like these sides because then you're gonna need to, I did that by mistake earlier. I made these same things the other day. So I did it by mistake the other day, and then I had to like, there was a little, I realized like halfway through, but then I had to clean chocolate. Do the side. It's like the same. Do it on your cutting board too so you don't break your countertop, please. And the paper helps just keep it there so it doesn't go flying everywhere. Anyway, I do like to make them like pretty fine. Like I said, I don't like dark chocolate, so I like them to be finer pieces. And my mom was telling me actually chocolate chips are made with stuff so they don't melt, so they kind of stay more in their form. But other chocolate is made to like so it'll melt. So these will all kind of melt a little bit. So let's see how that went for us. Some of them are a little big, so I'm gonna put the big ones in and just beat them up a little more. You know what, guys? This is very therapeutic. You know, just beating up some chocolate. Okay guys, so now this is what it looks like. I scooped them all out with this thing, and you can use like an ice cream scooper too, but this is just like a better size for it. Or you could like, honestly, you could even take like a tablespoon or something and measure them out that way. You just kind of want them uniform for when you cook them. But I have to say, you could cook them right away. But best thing to do, and pre-scoop them before you put them in the fridge, just because it's a lot harder to scoop cold dough. Be easy, you can just pick them out. Especially if you only want to make a couple or something. And like, you can even freeze them. Like, let's say you have a party later this week and you're trying to get stuff ready. Make them, freeze them, and, you know, just maybe that day up, put them in the fridge so they can defrost a little. So what I'm going to do, the best is like overnight to put them in just so all like the flavors can soak in. I'm going to make half of them, I think, today. But I'm going to let them sit for like an hour or two in the fridge. And then the rest I'll probably make tomorrow. But yeah, best is overnight, but at least I would say, even if you really want to eat them soon, at least like 30 minutes. 30 minutes would help. Put them in the freezer. Pop them in the freezer for like 30 minutes. You know, but that's best thing. So I'll show you what they look like at the end, but yeah. Okay, guys. I finished the cookies and I did like dishes because, you know, that happens when you cook. Now I'm going to organize my closet. So let's do that. I've really been like trying to clean my room a lot. So I have all these shoes to put away and just general junk. I've actually been trying to cut down desperately on Starbucks because I'm addicted. So I haven't had one in a couple days, but it's like I'm cleaning and I need caffeine, so let's do this. I feel like that's one of the things I'm most sad about is like when I move out of my mom's house is like the lack of closet space I know I'm gonna have to deal with. Like, you can't, most 21-year-olds cannot buy themselves closets like this. Like, you can't buy an apartment, well, not buy, rent an apartment. So I'm savoring this while I can. Let's get to work. My step stool's here, so I can't read.
Enough 4 hours just staring at the ceiling. Now she's starting to stare back, but I guess ducks can be deceiving. In the spaces we call love won't have to fade away, but till you ever wake up feeling like we're living day to day. We should buy some golden handcuffs and throw away the K and mark ourselves right into cages in the prison of belief. Good.
Like, also, since I'm planning to move to Tokyo in a few months, I cannot bring all of this with me. So that's why I'm like, I have to go through stuff, but like, I want to go to fashion school. I have an emotional connection to all of my clothing. Like, show me a piece and I'm like, I love that. That's why they're not at Goodwill, but I have to go through stuff.
People ask us what we're doing, but it's all kind of confusing. It's like waiting for something great. And finally when you got it, wasn't everything you wanted. So you sit and grin and bear. It's not the worst thing that has happened, so you still
Okay, guys. I was gonna make soup, and then I was like, I really want a burger and fries. You know. So I'm walking to Five Guys. And I hadn't been checking outside, and it's like snowing, like real. I say real snow, like I've never experienced. Look at the real snow. But like I hadn't been checking it, and I didn't know it was gonna be this heavy. So, yeah. I got my burger. I'm so happy I ordered ahead of time online because the doors were locked when I got there, so they had to like bring it out to me because they close at 10 and it's like 9:55. So I was walking there and I was like, I thought I was reading the thing wrong, and I was, because it said there's like no curbside pickup, and you can still pick up in the store. Ooh, a nice forehead. Anyway, the snow's really nice, but not when you're walking into it, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I finished them. They're really yummy. And they're like nice, and I already ate one. The rest are staying in the fridge because I'll let them sit overnight, but I just need to have a few. So they're really yummy. Huh. Yum yum.